Welcome back, everyone. It's good to see you all. A few weeks ago, I did a video testing the waterproofness of dry bags. In that process, I discovered my bags were old. My bags had holes in them. We had to fix that. Let's go. Good to see you all. Welcome back. It's getting cold. Winter is upon us. I hope to get the boat in the water relatively soon, and with that in mind, I will need dry bags. I have a lot of dry bags, more than I realized. I want to do a quick inventory of bags, just to sort of see what we've got. That's a Zen Bivy 7-liter. This is a Big River 8-liter. Zen Bivy 7-liter. Zen Bivy 10-liter, Zen Bivy 7-liter, Sea to Summit Big River 8-liter, a very old Sea to Summit lightweight in 13-liter. That's my sort of standard food bag. Seal Line, I'm not sure which one. This is a Sea to Summit 13-liter Big River with a broken buckle that needs to be repaired, which is a pain in the butt. Sea to Summit lightweight 13-liter, that's a food bag size. Zen Bivy 10-liter, Zen Bivy 15-liter, Zen Bivy 15-liter with a compression attachment. Let me know if you want to see a video comparing compression bags. Historically, I have used the Sea to Summit Events, which a lot of people in the industry don't like Event. I do. But let me know if you want to see a comparison. Sea to Summit 13-liter food bag, lightweight. I call them food bags because that's how I use them, but it's the Sea to Summit lightweight. 15-liter Zen Bivy, 10-liter Zen Bivy, Sea to Summit waterproof event compression stuff sack. 3-liter Osprey. I don't even know where I got that. This is funny. This is an REI 10-liter. 15-liter. I never use this. Made for backpacking. Probably nothing wrong with it, but I never use it. Sea to Summit waterproof compression. Sea to Summit waterproof compression. Very old food bag. Sea to Summit tapered dry bag. That's my clothing bag, which I really absolutely love. And another Zen Bivy, right? Yeah, Zen Bivy compression sack. 1, 2, 3, 4 Sea to Summit lightweights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Zen Bivies. 2 Big Rivers and 1 Big River that's damaged. A Sea to Summit that I don't know where it came from in an REI. That's a lot of dry bags. Most of them are pretty old. The Zen Bivies are the newest, and I bought those when I lived... Sorry, I didn't buy them. They were sent to me when I lived in Norfolk, which was 3 years ago. Some of the Sea to Summit lightweights go back to 2009 to 2011. One of the Big Rivers is from 2022, so that actually is the newest now that I think about it. That video that I made a couple weeks ago really prompted me to start looking at bags, and I realized I really needed to upgrade. Before we get into that, I want to show you what a dry bag used to be. So when I started paddling, there were not a million options for dry bags like there are today. There was really one option, and this was it. This is the Seal Line Baja bag. This is a 10-liter bag, and it's incredibly stiff. The way that you seal it is by folding the top portion here. There used to be an A, B, on these. You fold the top portion here and then roll it to encapsulate the opening, and then give it 3 rolls, and then buckle it with this loop from the buckle on the outside. You can see how stiff that is. This was our only real option for dry bags, and that didn't change until Seal Line released the Sea bags, S-E-E, and they were like this but completely transparent. Those were really the first bags that I bought for my first NOLS course as a student, and they performed really well. The problem with this system is, you saw when I was rolling this and folding it how stiff it is. These, when they fail, will crack in here because you really have to roll a stiff material and they will crack in that opening, which is why we moved away from these. And so this is what we lived with. Boy, have times changed. But I wanted to see what everyone was offering. So with that in mind, I went shopping. So on my little shopping spree, I went with what I consider the heavy hitters. I picked up 2 bags from Sea to Summit. I picked up a bag from Seal Line. I picked up a bag from NRS. And I picked up a brand new Zen Bivy. And I want to compare those. I view those as the heavy hitters. Dry bags have really changed a bit since I did my last purchases. And I wanted to check these out and sort of see what they look like and see what they feel like and sort of talk about what's going on in the world of dry bags. So let's do that. And I want to start with the Sea to Summits. So I ordered 2 different bags from Sea to Summit. I ordered the lightweights, which are, this is the updated version of bags that I've been using forever. My food bags, when I did the Inside Passage a while ago, a million years ago, are lightweights. I want to see how much they've changed. This bag is not listed as designed for paddling. It's designed as a backpacking bag. And I think more and more that's what we're seeing with bags, is that there are fewer and fewer bags specifically for paddling, although I've got a couple here. But this bag is designed as a backpacking bag. And then I've got the Big River. This bag is listed as paddle sports as well as other things. There's one other thing, I forget what it is, but I'll put it down here. This is a much thicker, much more durable bag. This is a much thinner, much lighter weight bag. We're going to open these up in just a second and compare. Both of these are 8-liter bags. I tried to stay in the 8 to 10 liter range. I think that the Zen Bivy is the only one that is not. I believe that is a 7, but pretty close. So these are the Sea to Summit options. Next, I ordered this from Seal Line. This is the Seal Line Discovery 10 liter with a purge valve. I believe with the exception of the Zen Bivy, it's the only one with a purge valve. And one of my first dry bags that I really loved was called the Kodiak Window, made by Seal Line. And I love those bags. They were colors, but had a strip of material sort of like this that was not completely see-through, but you could sort of see what was in them. And they had a purge valve. The problem with their purge valve was that if anything was pressed against it, it wouldn't purge. And you would have to sometimes pull it away to let it purge. And I really love those bags. They were just in too bad a shape, and so I updated, but I'm curious to see what this is like. This is the biggest, 10 liters. Oh, I lied. This is 10 liters also. This is the NRS Tough Sack. This is as close to the bags that I started with as I could find. This is very similar to the Seal Line Black Canyon or the Seal Line Baja, neither of which seem to exist anymore. Sort of a thick vinylized bag. I am not a huge fan of this material. This vinyl material in a damp environment, like inside the storage on your boat, it can get sort of sticky is not the right word, but it's hard to slide in and out, which is why I sort of have been preferring for the last probably decade bags like the Sea to Summit Lightweight, because it's slippery and slides into and out of your boat really well. And then finally, this is the Zen Bivy, which the thing about this Zen Bivy that I really love is that there's no packaging. It's in a plastic bag and it's got its hang tag. And I like that because it's sort of minimalizing packaging, which is super cool. It also comes with a really cool sticker sheet. I've already got stickers up on there from them, so I'm not quite sure what I'll do with this. I somehow ended up with a ton of stickers in my life. Yeah, stickers. Yeah, so those are super cool. I like that they included that. And then this is the bag that I've been using. They only really make one type of bag. I do wish that they would make a paddling specific bag, really just a thicker version of this. And this has that purge valve that I really like. So let's open these up and compare and contrast. Okay, let's take a look at these. See, the Zen Bivy has like no packaging. This is really fancy packaging. So it slides open and closed, and then you open this little door and the whole bag comes out. That's kind of cool, but it's a lot of packaging for no real reason. This looks almost identical to the lightweights that I used to use. They have added, for a shoulder strap, they have added a little tab on the bottom, which is kind of cool. Maximum load 33 pounds. Let's fold this inside out and take a look at it. This is taped seams. This looks almost identical to the bags that I've used, just this one is newer and in better shape. And there are instructions here on how to close it. Do not submerge. Avoid contact with sharp objects. Use 2 dry bags for sensitive electronic equipment. I've never seen that warning before. Hand wash with warm water only, store dry. So this looks almost the same. I checked a number of these bags and they were listed as do not submerge. I'll check all of them and put a note if there were any that were designed to be submerged. As we talked about in that video that I did, which I'll put a link to up here, A, it's really hard to submerge a bag. B, even if they are submerged, they're not going to leak. We got some bubbles out of the roll top closures, which everyone in the comments sort of agreed was probably just air that was trapped in the roll. But some of those bags had actual holes in them. Unless there's enough external pressure, the water can't get in. So kind of a non-issue, but I think that's more covering their bases. But that's a nice looking dry bag in yellow. Yeah, super nice. That's fine. Field repair buckle. Oh yeah, now with easily replaceable buckles, which is nice. I could do a whole diatribe on Fastex buckles like these that are a pain in the butt to repair. But yeah, so that's option 1, the Sea to Summit Lightweight. I like that bag. That's a nice bag. Same sort of closure, multiple lash points. So this is the 8-liter Big River. I like these bags. They're a little bit tapered. This is even more robust. Max load 220 pounds. That's something. I don't know how I would get 220 pounds in there. This also has the replaceable buckles, which is nice. Do not submerge. Yeah, same deal. And then let's turn this inside out and see what this looks like. Also taped seams. That is generally where a bag is going to fail, short of getting a hole in it, is that those seams will come untaped. I do like these bags because of that little bit of a taper. Same sort of deal. To seal, roll at least 3 times, which is pretty much the standard. That's a nice thick bag with lash points, replaceable handles. Yeah, super nice. I like that. Okay, I want to look at the seal line next. Secondary printed instructions. Fold here. It's how to close it. How to burp it. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Nothing there we needed to learn. Nice instructions printed on the inside as well. That's nice. Not replaceable buckles. That is not nice. That being said, I think I've only had 1 buckle on a dry bag break, and it was on a Sea to Summit. So this is somewhat translucent. You can see my hand through there. Let's pull this inside out. See what these seams look like. This has far fewer seams, really just along the bottom. This looks like it is glued to the bottom pad. It might be welded. I'll have to check that. Hey everyone, Brett from the future. So something that I slipped my mind when I was shooting this was Seal Line's parent company is Cascade Designs. Cascade Designs also owns Thermarest. Now, Thermarest, for their sleeping bags, I guess in the 70s, I'm going by memory, it could be later than that, it could be early 80s, used welded construction to seal their sleeping pads. And then they said, what else can we do with this technology? And they spun it off into Sea-Line dry bags. So I should have realized that even though that bag looks glued, it might be glued. I don't know precisely today what they're doing, but in general, Sea-Line bags are welded because that was like their technology. I don't know if they invented it or if they were just the first to use it in the outdoor industry. I'm sure someone smarter than me with a better memory will say down in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that bag is welded, not glued, but man, does it look glued. Okay, back to me. And we're gonna do a test with that air purge valve. That's a nice bag. I'm not loving that bag. I don't know how I feel about that bag. And then this is, as I said, like the most classic. This is the NRS, which really reminds me of a Sea-Line, Black Canyon bag. See, and the fact that they put this in here tells you that it can stick to itself and other things. That is exactly the problem that I was just describing. Interesting. I don't think I can get this one inside out. And again, the only seam, oh no, there's a seam on the back. Also looks like it was glued, not welded. We will check that. Yeah, this is my least favorite type of bag because of the materials. It's very stiff. I can't even get that open. That is like your classic dry bag. Very stiff, hard to work. Buckles are not replaceable. Doesn't have directions on how to seal it printed on the bag, which I guess is not a big deal, but it was nice that those other companies did that. And then finally is the Zen Bivy, which I can't really get open. Now I can. This is the smallest bag at 7 liters. Yeah, unchanged from the ones that I've got. Very thin, which is the downside of these. Let's turn this inside out. That is a welded seam with a much bigger purge valve. And then this little cage prevents it from getting blocked the way I described on the Sea-Line. So let's fill these up, take a look at actual shapes, look at them sealed, and then let's do a purge valve test. So here are the Sea to Summit lightweight. Feels a little bit thinner than my older lightweights, but nice pliable material. I did some double checking. This is taped seams, sewn in taped seams, not sealed, not welded seams. I do like the removable buckle. That's a nice little dry bag that I will probably continue to use for food. Nothing special. That's cute so that I can do a shoulder strap, but I'll never put a shoulder strap on it. But that's a nice little dry bag, and I'll put the price right here. This is the other Sea to Summit. This is the Big River. I think this is a great cockpit bag or even deck bag. I like the lashings on the side, so you can lash it down. Also has that shoulder strap addition that I will never use. Again, it has removable buckles, which makes it easier to replace them if they break. And I have had buckles break on dry bags, and it's a pain in the butt. This is slightly thicker than the lightweight, obviously. This is also sewn and taped seams. This bag is designed for paddle sports. This bag is designed for backpacking. So I think they're both nice bags and have their uses. This bag is new to me. We're going to play with the purge valve. We're going to do a little purge valve comparison. Easy to roll. Buckle is not removable. Somewhat translucent so people can see your dirty underwear. I'm going to work this into rotation and see what I think. This, I believe, is welded seams. If I'm wrong, I'll put a marking, but I kind of recall that this is a welded seam. Yeah. We'll see how this does. I'm 50-50 on it. Except for the purge valve, which we're going to play with, as I said, in just a second. Hate it, despise it. Thick material is very durable. It does say it is welded seams, which surprised me. It looked glued to me. Hard to roll, not replaceable buckle, which I think we should all be doing. I think buckles should all be replaceable. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this dry bag at all. Even the edges where the seams are kind of rough, which means they're going to grab on things. And I've mentioned a million times, I just don't like this material. And I already said this, it was hard to roll. It's very dark in there. So if you're looking for a GoPro battery, it's going to be hard to find. Not a fan. I'll put the price right here. And of course, the Zen Bivies. I love the Zen Bivies. I think these are great bags. We're going to do, as I said, a little purge valve. I would like to see this buckle. So not a paddling bag. I should have said paddling bag, backpacking bag. But none of them are submergible according to their websites. The big complaint with this bag is that they're thin, which they told me when they sent them to me. These I bought. All of these bags that you're looking at right here, I paid for. I did not get this bag for free. I paid for this bag. Welded seams, which I really like. Has a sort of built-in, so easy to lash. I like that. But the winner here is this purge valve, and I'm going to demo that in just a minute. I would like these buckles to be removable. Because this is a backpacking bag, they're doing it to save weight. I would like all the buckles to be a little bit bigger. Like, I think that's a better size buckle. With cold hands, a tiny buckle can be hard to manage. That's a nice big buckle. So, yeah. But other than that, this is my go-to. This is my favorite, without a doubt. This is my favorite. Okay. So this is really cool. Watch this. That was just me squeezing the air out of that purge valve. I'm sure there will be some rebound, but we're going to see. Now watch this. So much harder to get the air out of this. It is happening. But it's really hard to get the air out of this. Even if you pinch it and pull it, there's nothing behind it but air. That's not a winner. Let me squeeze out some more air. Who's got this time when they're packing their boat to do that? I don't understand. Okay, so we're going to squeeze both of these down and see how they rebound, if they rebound. I am surprised how much the Zen Bivy re-expanded. I don't know that means that there is air getting into it, or if it's just expanding. It seems like a little air got into it, but we submerged it and didn't get water into it. So I'm not sure what to make of that. But don't like how hard it is to get the air out of this the Sea Line Discovery bag. Yeah, so what we're going to do, don't stand away from the camera. What we're going to do is work these into rotation and sort of see how they hold up and how they do. I am going to work all of them into my next trip some way, somehow. I'm not quite sure how. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bags. These are the sort of, in my opinion, the biggies. I am sure there are other bags out there. However, I think most of the other bags out there are predominantly backpacking bags. I don't think that there is another paddling rated bag that we haven't tested. Or is there? there is one more. This is a watershed bag with a zipper to open. We are going to do a whole video just on these. And this was sent to me by Will from Get Outdoors. We're going to be working in the future together on a number of things. I'm still not quite ready to talk about that. And I'm going to talk to him about sort of why he likes these bags. He uses this type of bag as like his in the cockpit bag. It holds his camera, it holds his snacks, holds stuff like that. So we're going to do a whole video on this, but I really feel like this is a completely separate animal. So this is coming. If you enjoyed this stuff, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe. If you want to see this watershed bag in action, hit like, hit subscribe. We'll work that in as well. We're going to do a bunch of tests just with this, and I'm pretty sure we are going to submerge it. I'm not sure if this is listed as submergible, but we'll figure all that out. You can support this channel on Ko-fi by buying me a coffee. You can support the channel by hitting like and subscribe. That helps. Please do that. I am behind in subscribers for the year. I am not going to make my goal of 10,000, which is kind of depressing. It has been that kind of year. If you are not subscribed, and 80% of you are not subscribed, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. That would help me out a lot. If you want other ways to support the channel, you can go over to Ko-fi. There are links down below where you can just buy me a coffee, or you can support the channel by buying one of my books, which are listed there, or my gear list, or the Guides Way, which is hundreds of tips and tricks based on decades of working in the outdoor industry. There is one for kayaking. There is one for the outdoors. There is very little overlap between the two. The only overlap is in the food section. It's broken down into sections, which is color-coded, and it's a whole thing. I'm really proud of those. So check those out. Otherwise, I'll see you outside.
What else is mine? Hat. Do I need a hat? I already got my beanie. I think the beanie's gonna be a good choice of the day. Do you know which one's which? I think this one's mine. It's newer.
Mine is the oldest one.